My name is Jeff Edwards. I have responsibility for the Indirect Provider Program, CSP Indirect Provider Program for Stratos Cloud. I spent 16, 17 years at Microsoft, including the majority of that time in the Dynamics ecosystem, running partner programs and strategy. So certainly got a lot of examples of great marketing and not so good marketing, both inside of Microsoft and amongst the partner ecosystem. So really looking forward to the conversation.
Hey, I'm Bill Anderson. I'm CMO for Velasio and Stratos Cloud Alliance. I can't wait to get off this call and ask Jeff if any of that bad marketing came from us. So very excited to be here today.
Never.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Scott May. I'm the Director of Channel Development with Stratos Cloud Alliance, and I work with partners to help them out with Microsoft Indirect CSP, getting them on board with us, getting them to do marketing with us and all of the great marketing activities and folks that we have, and helping them go through and drive more cloud revenue through Microsoft.
SkyKick actually is 100% partner-driven ISV model, right? So we basically provide tools which actually help customers move to the cloud, be secure in the cloud, and then automate the MSP functions to help them out. So I've learned a lot. Most of the stuff I'll share today is based on us working with more than 3,500 partners we have out there. So you don't have to beat up the informer out here. You can always go back to our MSPs and get more information about it as well. So glad to be here.
Hi guys, my name's Kim and I'm the Channel Marketing Manager for Stratos Cloud Alliance. So I'm here to help facilitate our partners with marketing campaigns in a box and really supporting Scott on the channel development side, and Jeffrey here, who will be coming up after me from the partner enablement side. So providing partners with marketing assets and resources to drive demand with their customers and prospects.
Hey Sherman, thanks for having us on the call today. My name's Jeffrey DiMaria. I do partner enablement here at the Stratos Cloud. I really like to help our partners grow their business, tapping into our resources to help expand your footprint and leveraging the resources that our team. So we have a number of amazing programs and hope that, when partners want to expand into new business areas or just focus in on Dynamics, we're here to help you engage with the team.
In our industry, we're not as strong in that marketing and sales. Let's just be honest. We're not. We're great tacticians. We're great implementers. We're above, beyond, right? But just not necessarily in the sales and marketing. And what you just mentioned there, Bill, the uniqueness part of it, you have to stand out, because if Google AdWords, right? If you put MSP services, it's like $100 a click because everybody's doing that, right? Everyone's saying they're. Right. For many years we were, or with the partners that we manage, it's all about, hey, let's create vertical offers, right? In vertical, how do you help healthcare, the industry solve these problems, and what problems are you solving, right? Because that's what people are kind of thinking, but not being there. And I think what you're going to be able to take away from today is marketing is so important. We've got that recession, and I know it's kind of a little bit of a drag down, but that's when it's going to be the most important. Okay, I'm just telling you right now, start putting some money into that, because you want to make sure you continue to grow or stay there, but come out of that recession in a couple of years. You got to think. I'm always thinking like 4 or 5 steps ahead, right? Always like what's going to be next. You want to do that. All right, so let's go ahead. The next one is sharing your best marketing tactics. Go ahead in there and go ahead and put in there. But let's go ahead and go over to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you run a call every month with your partners over at Stratos Cloud Alliance, and do you have, what would you share are maybe best and worst tactics?
I think you have to have a plan and leverage the tools to execute it, right? And with that, you need to test, because when you have these powerful tools at your fingertips, you can make a million errors without even realizing it. So I just caution people, absolutely have your plan in place, and then when you're using your tools, make sure you test and be careful, because you can make a lot of errors without realizing it. And one of the big things I heard in the past is you can't put toothpaste back in the tube, right? So that, just be careful with the tools that you're doing, and just make sure you have the right people in place to be able to execute properly.
Okay. So Jeffrey, on that, I'm going to extrapolate on that. One of the banes of my existence and my team's existence is this webinar registration for this show. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, it is the bane, and we have literally squeezed out the whole bottle of toothpaste, trying to put it all back in with our email marketing, and we do it the wrong way. But yeah, I think that's so important, right? Is finding the tools, and we're still always thinking like, how can we do this? But hey, we got 700 people to this darn thing, so we're doing something right? I think the test piece of it, absolutely. I do want to mention one small thing, and this is back to the strategy. So being consistent, and I'm going to take this program actually as a very interesting way of looking at things. We started this program as a way to give back to the partner community. You know me, over the past 34 shows, we don't really sell in this thing. This is really giving back to the community. But transparently, my market is MSPs. Really, that's what it is. That's who it is. And what we've been doing is consistently. We started this with 10 people. 10 partners attended this, the very first one. Now it's at 700, but because every single month we're consistent. But it's about being consistent, right? And about an industry. And that's the last thing I'm gonna mention on that is, if you think about it in a strategy wise, why don't you, each and every one of you, why don't you have your own industry call? Why don't you? Why don't you have a vertical industry call? Why don't you? And you start small, but you end up getting big. And this is where you mine. We probably get 3 or 4 calls every single month, 5, 6 calls every single month saying, hey, Sherman, what do you do exactly? How can you help us? But we never ask, but what we're doing is we're consistently building the profile of what we do and how we do it, right? So think about that. That is important. All right, let me go over to Aditya, best and worst.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I mean, as a marketer, people always think that, we are the people telling the stories or throwing the stuff out there, right? But we forget the most important, job of ours is to actually listen, right? And I think it becomes even more critical right now for us to listen, but not only listen to what the market is saying or what the, customers are saying, but actually listen to our sellers, because at the end of the day, they're going to be the people who are going to carry that message across when they do need to, close that deal with their customer, right? So again, it's critical to make them part of your planning process. I think the other thing is that, also a lot of the MSPs we work with are kind of smaller MSPs. And, they always get, overwhelmed by saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to spend all this big budget on marketing when it's really 1/3 of a job of someone who sits in the front office, right? And again, my guidance to them is just create short form videos, right? Pick up your iPhone and just talk on your iPhone and talk about what your point of view at that, moment is. Just go ahead and get it on LinkedIn, right? Nothing has to be fancy. People just want to consume data in the TikTok format, right? So let's just adopt the mediums that a lot of people are using as part of it, right? So I think those are a couple of things to consider as you do that. And
how about stop being everything to everyone and focus on some things that are going to make you some money, good margin, and be an expert at it. Bill, what do you think about that?
I love it. Actually, that kind of feeds into what I was going to suggest. I mean, you come onto a call like this, and everybody out there is looking for those tactics, those things that we can do. My tactical advice would be to get the heck out of the campaign business. For years we ran campaigns, right? Marketing put together a campaign and it had a call to action, and that call to action had a form, and that form generated a lead, and then we figured out how many we could close. People don't operate that way anymore. What I tell my team is come up with something great and build a great landing page and build it so that it can be found by Google and build it so that when people get there, it's easy to engage and it's compelling. Then just talk about it everywhere. Social, email, your partners. The list goes on. We have so many mediums at our fingertips. Come up with a great landing page or a great spot for people to engage with you, and then just talk about it across every medium you can find. Don't create a landing page every time you want to run a campaign. Marketers tend to get stuck in this. I've got to come up with this great thing, this great thing, this great thing. And that's all they do is come up with great things. Come up with one great thing and then talk about it across every medium you can find.
Let's go, Jeff. What would you say, best and worst, in your opinion?
Jeff Edwards, I would. I've seen a lot, and it's kind of very customer centric. I've seen a lot of success in being very specific to business outcomes And when you get specific, you generally get vertically specific, right? When somebody sees something, it's like, yes, that's my problem, and wow, that's an amazing result they got from that. And if I had that same result, that would be really amazing. So, getting specific to the customer and the specific solution and outcomes they get from a business perspective. Spell it out, right? What was the ROI? How much money did they save? How many more customers did they get? How much inventory did they shrink? Whatever it might be, right?
Oh, excellent. That's excellent. Scott, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to make mine best and worst for the same thing, right? At least from where I come from and what I respond to and react to is mainly on social media nowadays, right? And so, if it's on LinkedIn or Twitter, they're very targeted, as everybody else is saying, specific kind of unique value selling positions with thought leadership that is specific to what I work in and day out, right? They could be, ebooks, they could be white papers, it could be, tools, right? That I can use to help kind of, hey, improve your business, take, this or use this tool. I'm constantly trying to go through and learn and getting that type of information presented to me, that I, just like Jeff Edwards said, right? Hey, that sounds like me. This is good information that I want to learn more about so I can do better at what I do or improve our systems. And most of that I see in social media. I get 10,000 emails a day. I don't respond to many of those. It's when I'm out there actively looking or doing a search, as Bill said, right? It comes up and I see it and I go to the landing page and I go, yeah, let me download that. Got to be quick, got to be easy. I don't want to fill out a whole bunch of stuff. I give my name, my email, and that's it. Great. That helps me out. People follow up with me. A lot of times I am engaged, sometimes I'm not. The worst is social media from a standpoint of getting LinkedIn contacts where people want to connect with you. And then you connect with them, and 2 seconds later, you're getting basically an automated, oh, hey, we'd like to go through and sell you that. It just happened to me before this call. I got a connection request, and then all of a sudden I get this, hey, you do this. Would you like to? I'm like, that's the worst, right? Just turns me off. I think it probably turns everybody off. You understand if someone's using an in-mail and kind of targeting you specifically and understands who you are and is reaching out to you. But when they reach out to you for connection and then you accept that connection, and then all of a sudden the next thing that you get is basically a spam LinkedIn message. Don't do that. That's the worst.
So with that being said, I want to say thank you everybody here. Thank you to Stratos Cloud Alliance. Thank you to Velocio.
They both work.
Yes. And Aditya from SkyKick. Oh my gosh, thank you so very, very much, for coming on here. We really do appreciate that. We hope that this was well worth your time, today, and kind of bringing up these ideas, kind of thinking it, and this is a little bit higher level. Maybe you're thinking of, okay, what are these very specifics? Happy to work with you. Happy to talk with you. So.